The thing that I find absolutely humorous is people say with a straight face that it's irresponsible of me to talk directly to the people, that it's my obligation to filter it through a handful of them first, as if somehow the people of Kentucky are not intelligent enough to be able to hear from me and make their own conclusions, that it somehow has to be rejiggered by the journalists before the people will be able to understand. It is such an insult. It's why newspapers, traditional newspapers, especially the big ones that are owned by, Gannett owns the Courier-Journal. That's a company based in Virginia. McClatchy owns the Herald-Leader. They're based in California. They don't give a rip about Kentucky. They don't care about Kentucky. They're not rooting for Kentucky. The small town papers are still vibrant to varying degrees because they actually still serve a purpose. But these big papers, they don't care about Kentucky. And so my disregard of the handful of them who think they get to determine the news, I use social media because it's a way to go directly to the people. I believe the people of Kentucky are smart enough to think for themselves.
Yeah. Fake news has been talked about a lot. Would you call this a fake news? And again, I want to go back to the headline. It says, media policy, ignore reporters and control the message. I want to press on this because you've actually given interviews of several reporters across the state. You've been on talk radio programs.
Every week.
You give interviews to the Paducah Sun, the Bowling Green Daily News, other papers as well. We're here talking. We're not the media, but you're talking to us. But what I'm sensing from reading the Courier-Journal and sometimes the Lexington Herald-Leader is this, they're painting you as this guy that's secretive, not forthcoming, not open to the people. But with the advent of Facebook and other social media, you have communicated directly to the people.
I don't think there's ever been a governor in Kentucky history that's ever been as direct in their communication, that's been more interactive, that's been more transparent, that's been more available to people. You've got about 4, 5, 6 whiny people who work for organizations that have become tabloids, let's be honest. They don't care about the facts. The largest newspaper in this state, the Courier-Journal, which truthfully, and I would say to anyone watching, is not worth the subscription price. You can get it for free online, just refresh your cache. But the fact is, you can literally take that newspaper and disregard it because we $1.3 billion investment in Eastern Kentucky. Yeah. Largest investment ever in the history of Appalachia, third largest deal in the history of Kentucky. They didn't even write about it. Why? Because the CEO said he's here because of right-to-work legislation. Had we not passed right-to-work legislation, which the Courier-Journal was adamantly opposed to, then in fact they would not have come. So they just pretend that doesn't happen. That's what they're frustrated with, is they don't now get to invent the news. They don't get to decide what people hear or not hear. So they resent social media. I'm going to continue to use social media. And I honestly wouldn't even worry about articles like that. I don't. I really don't.